Every year, racers from all over the United States spend the entire year testing and adjusting, both on their home tracks and traveling from state to state, getting ready for one of the biggest events of the year. Vendors and sponsors show up, hoping their cars make it to the winner's circle. Both from imports and domestics, winning here is part of their goal, but breaking records is in everyone's sight. The limits are pushed to the extreme, and to many, the risks are overwhelming. Helping achieve many of these records around the world is the Australian-based company Microtech EFI, providing precise tuning and data logging for over 25 years. Microtech will take you in and up close to some of the fastest and quickest cars in the world. We will take you behind the scenes and introduce you to the hard-working and humble people who continue to set records with Microtech here in Maryland at the 2015 Imports vs. Domestics World Cup Finals. Microtech EFI is utilized throughout the world, and popularity for motorsports is global, but in one country is part of the culture, and to many, a religion. This is the racing culture of Puerto Rico.
¿Cuántos van a los domésticos? ¡Va callado!
Para un obrero pues yo tengo un sueldo viejo de 4 años añejo, con la ley 7 sin derecho de asesor. Pero estos legisladores, los charlatanes, se creen que el pueblo es pendejo. Pero estos legisladores, los charlatanes, se creen que el pueblo es pendejo.
Este es de la presión de muchos mecánicos.
Puerto Ricans like to party and have a good time. There's plenty of food to go around, but don't let that fool you. Puerto Rican racing community and spirit of competition is among the most extremes in the world.
Esto es la maquinaria en el intro de Real Pauta. Tenemos mucho brillo, mucho flow, mucho que razón para dejarte la caer. No estés hablando mierda, mi hermacito no jala. La vida que no te quede el papel. Tenemos mucho brillo, mucho flow, mucho que razón para dejarte la caer. No estés hablando mierda, mi hermacito no jala. La vida que no te quede el papel.
Yeah, soy el fabuloso. Muchos no saben de mi plan majestuoso. Me tiran fotos porque ya yo soy famoso. Como Picasso de colección son mis versos. En esto soy como un profesional chef. Tengo mi propia salsa. Muchos quieren competir pero no pasan la test. A su carrera les puse pausa. Tengo mucho brillo, mucho flow, mucho cash. El envidioso vamos a romper pa' que no te hablando mierda. Mi vasito no jala. En esta movie no tiene papel.
Tenemos mucho brillo, mucho flow, mucho que razón para dejarte la caer. No estés hablando mierda, mi hermacito no jala. La vida que no te quede el papel.
The flow is best. Still broke, but nada pro carol. Si necesitas que te escriban tipo dame un call. Saca los chavitos, papi, fuck the fame. Lo mío fuma el creepy, mami, fuck cocaine. Insane in the brain, lo mate como Teo. Y si por casualidad resucitas mi brain más que...
The event is full of new racing talent as well as racing legends.
Aquí está otra de las máquinas que tiene un reto con la historia, y en este fin de semana puede ser muy bien uno de los autos, o pudiera ser el auto que estableciera los primeros 5 segundos en Norteamérica. Ahora bien, hay una cancioncita en el team que dice: gritan las mujeres desde los balcones que Cuajo está loco con los pistones.
Cuajo will drive Jerry for the first time, also looking for the 5-second pass. Maryland's track preparation is among the elite in the nation. Historically, it has been one of the stickiest tracks. This is racing war, imports versus domestics, pistons versus rotaries. Winning is just part of it, as many chase the 5-second pass and the opportunity to break the world record currently held by Ibrahim Kanu from e-canoe racing, Bahrain. In the kingdom of rotaries, there's only one king, Wilbur Performance, responsible for the quickest rotaries on the planet, the world's quickest rotary, Major League, world's quickest 2-rotor and 3-rotor, 3/4 chassis cars in the world, all tuned by Wilbur Performance. Among the racing legends of Puerto Rico is Edwin Loquito Killer, considered one of the rotary experts in the island. One of the most humble, most experienced, and successful sport compact tuners in the world is Osotec. He can tune rotaries and pistons, as he held world records for both. One of his most impressive projects, El Humilde, the 2JZ Toyota, ran 6:25 during qualifiers and now joins the World Sport Compact top 10 fastest cars in the world, and the only one in the list not full chassis. El Humilde is 3/4 chassis. Puerto Ricans are proud of their roots and proud of their racing culture. They have a special love for rotaries, and they will transplant them in any car. In many of the imports, you will find one of the two stamps, Wilbur Performance or Osotec. They are among the two highest recognized Microtech tuners in the world, both from humble backgrounds in Puerto Rico. Leading up to the event, Mr. President ran back-to-back 602, 604, and 602 passes. Then in testing, ran 607 in Maryland and then 611 in qualifying. All eyes and pressure are on him to run the first pass. Lascano, 2JC expert. Four of the top 10 fastest imports in the world are tuned by Oso, Mr. President, El Jerry, Humilde, and Loquito Killer. Also builds engines, tunes the chassis, tunes the cars, and also drives the Humilde. The 3-rotor, 3-turbo combination on the Joyan has not seen the track before. El Jerry, another Lascano 2JC tuned by Osotec. El Jerry is another contender to run 5s. On the rotary side, the 3-rotor Major League has been clocking impressive times. Among many fighters in the track is Pepe Loco Technology, a fierce competitor in the import community, always keeping the pressure. As the night approaches, temperatures drop, and with the schedule, competitors have limited time to readjust their vehicles for the next round of qualifiers. Two of the most interesting projects are the triple turbo rotaries from Team New Generation, Predator and Joyan, which is using a new 3-rotary triple turbo for the first time at this event. Puerto Rico's racing community is split almost down the middle between rotaries and pistons. The only common denominator that prevails is the love for imports and the use of Microtech EFI. Predator, Joyan, and Major League are under new ownership, but the team remains together.
Bueno, saludo aquí a la fanaticada. Pues me conocen como Yangeli Racing, aquí dueño de Predator Racing, entre yo y mi hermano. Joyan Racing y ahora Major League de Team New Generation, que el carro se va a quedar pues en el team de New Generation porque son los que nos están ayudando. Aquí están los pilotos de los dos autos, Florito y Chupa, que son los duros en esto, y nosotros pues aquí hicimos unos cambios nuevos en el Joyan. Como pueden ver, le metimos 3 turbos. Parte del team pues está Wilber Performance en la programación, Kerry Performance, Moncho, que está trabajando junto con Kerry, está Alex Nickel aquí, que es parte clave del equipo, y todos los muchachos de Filadelfia. Aquí está Papito Ranzami, que es de Puerto Rico, que es la mente maestra en el cloche y en todo lo que tenga que ver con los carros. Está Gabriel aquí, que me ha ayudado un montón también, y todos los del team buscando nuevos números este año que viene ahora. Si Dios lo permite, pues vamos a romper esas pizarras.
Team operations remain the same. The previous and the new owner are good friends.
Aquí estamos con Jimmy, New Generation. Pues aquí en vivo le quiero dar las gracias por todo lo que ha hecho por nosotros aquí, dándonos la mano con los carros, ayudándonos incondicionalmente. Y voy a decir esto en vivo, para que todo el mundo sepa. A lo que ha llegado el deporte de los imports, corriendo como están corriendo, se lo debemos a este hombre aquí, que es el que puso las pizarras a temblar, y a todo el mundo a gastar. Ahora todo el mundo puede copiarse en todo lo que quieran, pero todos se lo copiaron a este hombre aquí, que fue el que puso las cosas donde tienen que estar, para que todo el mundo corriera. Y ahora pues no le dan el crédito, pero yo se lo doy porque el deporte ha llegado hoy en día a lo que es por él.
No, yo quiero agradecerle a Puro, pues lo primero que nada nos dio la oportunidad de ser amigos y de dejarme entrar en su familia, como dice uno, porque aquí en el deporte ya somos familia. Y pues el hombre ha adquirido las 2 máquinas, los candados candela en el área de los rotativos, y estoy agradecido que se queden los carros en manos de él. Vamos a seguir trabajando arduamente. La máquina venimos con nuevos cambios, venimos con el motor bile completo, ya el hombre lo tiene, el hombre está dispuesto a darle para adelante y no lo vamos a dejar solo.
Y la máquina se queda en el team porque somos un team unido. Y como dice el refrán, unidos en la unión está la fuerza. Y eso es lo que vamos a seguir haciendo nosotros. Para atrás y a coger impulso.
Gracias.
Track prepping is continuous, and so are the adjustments. Another team laying on the pressure is Team Paradise Racing. All the cars ran extremely fast at their home tracks, but adjusting to Maryland will take a few passes. Adjusting to the track has been somewhat challenging for some of the cars. Some seem to do better than others. For many racers, the evening is not for resting, but rather filled with work and sacrifice. The cars return to the pits and the crew begins inspecting all the components, while the tuners collect the data, looking for any potential gains. The second day, weather hits, and with rain on the forecast, chances for additional adjustments during qualifiers are decreased. Racers must make adjustments on the data collected during elimination rounds. Elomildo ran 6.25 in qualifying. The data from the past look great, and incremental times early in the run indicate the potential is there to run into the 6.1s. To some, the day is not completely wasted, as additional time for component inspection is gained. For the team New Generation, Major League will not continue on the event, so they shift all the focus on the Joyan, the 3-rotor, 3-turbo combination. Even with the weather, spirits are still high. Many of these teams often qualify on top, then they use the remaining qualifying rounds to throw everything at it to run the record. But with qualifiers being cut short due to the weather, there is no room for errors from this point on.
Here, hanging out with my friends from Canada, the fastest.
The next morning is an early one. The weather is clear, but much colder. It's elimination rounds. The teams have decided to throw everything at it. Everyone is going for the record. Although many are after the record and feel optimistic about their chances, they also understand there is limited data due to fewer qualifiers and the risk to rattle the tires in the next rounds.
We'll get back to it here, round one of Euro Zone Motor.
The launch pad is too crowded. We're going to give 36 hours to this lady.
responsible for the Puerto Rican racing fashion Willie Monster shirts, drives this red rotary Lopez connection. Outlaw versus Extreme is the fastest class. Right away, new generation faces Pepe Loco technology. There is no easy race in eliminations. Pepe Loco has issues coming out. With limited data, Mr. President decides to push the cart into the records, but unfortunately, rattle the tires coming out. Mr. President was pushing hard to run the 5-second pass, but it wasn't to be after losing in the first round. El Jerry also rattles the tires. Fortunately, the right lane also had issues. El Humilde also decides to go for it. Also comes out up front, but starts to drift hard towards the center line, forcing him to pedal off and on. Tempers rise as some of the bigger contenders to run 5s experience tire shakes, all on the left lanes. Disappointed, the MechTech team immediately begins to make plans to run Orlando upon returning home.
La película falsa
The RXA 3-rotor triple turbo made it to the semifinals on its first day at the track with the new setup without any testing. Since neither of the domestics showed up to the semifinals became the finals. All the hard work within Team New Generation pays off. Managing to keep the team together through the change of ownership was vital, and the trust on the new setup on the hands of Wilbur Performance, injected by Microtech EFI, pays off.
Mucho brillo, yo lo mato easy, faranduleando en auto o en bici. Lo tengo en crisis, a punto de un infarto. Mano arriba, esto es asalto, como Bella a los palos.
Les estoy campeando en baja, frío en la yeca, chilindrino, calle fino, actitud dañino. Ya salió el bordel, el asesino, los desaparezco, jamás de poner peña de ladino. Ya llegó el que de...
Microtech would like to congratulate Team New Generation for winning the event. As far as the 5-second record, the MechTech team and Mr. President held their word, and 6 days later ran a 5.98 at 241 miles per hour, becoming the first import in America to run 5s, and are now 0.08 of a second from the world record.